Imagine with me for a second. You wake up in the morning and get ready like it's a normal day. You pack your bags like it's a normal day. Then the moment you take a step outside, you see death, destruction, and suffering. People are barely making it to work, buses are always late, disease has spread through your entire town. Everyone is worried whether they're going to get sick or not. That's what could happen without animal experimentation. There are 3 factors involved in what I'm about to say to you: genetic similarities, not being inhumane to animals, and the law. Now, would you rather test things using unreliable machines other than animals to see if a medicine is safe? Well, if you actually think that, you have no idea what would come from that. Animals are the best subjects because of genetic similarities. If we test new medicines using machines and it comes back good and safe, does that mean it will be the same thing for humans? It just doesn't make sense. Machines are very unreliable. Even with a couple human cells, they can't simulate what it would be like inside a human body because it's not human. It can't simulate the circulatory system or any other system that gets involved when taking a medicine. It can't know exactly how a human body will react. Another thing, Louise Sapobin, author of a very descriptive book about animal testing, says this in her book. Animals suffer from many of the same illnesses as people. They develop asthma, cancer, diabetes, and other infections. Animals can even have kidney disease and go blind. And because of genetic similarities between humans and other mammals, many of the same drugs and vaccines can treat and prevent illness and disease in both humans and animals. I've also found 3 other sources to back that up. So the thing you think is destroying animals is actually saving them. Sure, it means testing on an animal, but imagine the other animals that they are saving. Wouldn't you do whatever it took to save your loved ones? By testing on animals, we're saving families of mice, monkeys, apes, and plenty of other animals. If animals didn't have genetic similarities, we probably wouldn't test on them. And if that didn't happen, we couldn't save animals around the world with the treatments and medications that we didn't create because of no animal experimentation. And of course they look completely different, so how could they have genetic similarities? Well, as stated by education.seattlepie.com and their research, humans share 98.8% of their DNA with bonobos and chimpanzees. Humans and gorillas share 98.4% of their DNA. Also, humans and mice share nearly 90% of human DNA. This is important because mice have been used in laboratories as experimental animals for research into human disease processes for years. Mice are currently used in genetic research to test gene replacement and gene therapy because they have similar gene types to those of humans and will have similar reactions to diseases and disease processes. Think about that. That amount of genetic similarities is what saves our lives and animal lives. I mean, saving animal lives. Isn't that what you want? Now, my opponent has been trying to convince you that animal experimentation is a cruel and horrible thing to do to animals. But is it really? Animal experimentation isn't anywhere near as inhumane as most of our population thinks. Scientists don't stick needles into animals every day and wrap them up and put weird things on them and decline animals their rights. They're actually really kind to animals and help keep them in a good environment. If you've ever wondered about animal experimentation, you've probably searched up pictures. If you did, you might have seen animals suffering and being tortured. But that's just a very small percentage of what's actually happening. Most scientists aren't anywhere near that cruel. According to my research in basildeclaration.org, a declaration was created by scientists called the Basel Declaration of 2010. Anyone who follows this declaration, which is most scientists in plenty of countries, including the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, the European Union, etc., follows these things. 1. Respect and protect the animals entrusted to us, and not inflict unnecessary pain, suffering, or harm to them by adhering to high standards of experimental design and animal care. 2. Consider carefully whether research involving animals addresses questions of importance that cannot be answered using alternative methods. 3. Strive to minimize the number of animals used for research and use the most suitable species to achieve the intended gain of knowledge. 4. Encourage collaboration to avoid repetition of animal experiments. Now, I'm not going to bore you guys by continuing to list off everything in this declaration. But there's plenty more I could say that help animals stay happy and healthy while in this environment. Animals are very well taken care of and barely tortured. They're very safe in this scientific environment. So what is there to worry about? I also want to bring in one more thing, the law. The law is there to follow, and it's there for a good reason. Are you going to try to make people change the law when there's probably a good reason for it that you don't yet see? Are you going to save animals but stand by while your family, your friends, and and people around you are being experimented on instead because of the actions you made? If animal experimentation is outlawed, the human race will slowly and painfully decay and become extinct because of a simple decision that you made. If we outlaw animal experimentation, we will still be trying to save the human race from fatal diseases and infections. But what we will really be doing is erasing every person in this selfish, uncaring, dangerous world from existence. All of that is your choice to make. As stated by Louis Sapobin, before new medications can be sold in the United States, they must pass a series of tests. These tests prove they are safe for people. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA, oversees these tests. The FDA says that human tests cannot be done if the test involves giving a human a potentially lethal or permanently disabling substance. In such cases, the FDA says the new drugs, vaccines, and products should first be tested on something else that can give good and reliable results. Isn't the best choice for that something else animals? What if those new medications were released out into the world without being tested first? Well, let me give you an example on that. Also stated by Louis Sapobin from her book, more than 100 people died when they ingested elixir sulfanilamide in 1937. Sulfanilamide was a popular treatment for sore throats in the 1930s, but it was given in tablet form. Not all patients could take tablets easily, so chemist Harold Cole Watkins at S.E. Messenger Company in Tennessee created elixir sulfanilamide. It was a liquid medicine instead of a tablet. What Watkins didn't know was that the chemical he used to dissolve the sulfanilamide, diethylene glycol, was poisonous. He hadn't tested it on animals before selling it. If the law we have now was in place then, the 100 and more innocent people that died would have lived a longer, healthier life. How would you feel if someone that was really close to you was one of those 100? Dead, because someone decided to skip the safety precautions and send the medications out without knowing what it would do. This is a big deal. We are fighting for our loved ones, your loved ones, every single person around the world. We are fighting disease and trying to keep the human race alive. We are fighting to make our world a better place. Don't you want that? This all rides on yours and my decision and what we will do about it. Do the right thing and protect animal experimentation. Because of the safe and necessary protocols followed, we get to live to the extent of our lives. Genetic similarities, the not so inhumane labs, and the law are all great reasons why animal experimentation is necessary to this world. Don't let people take away the weak, poor, and suffering from getting a good life because they wanted to outlaw animal testing. Make the right choice.